It happened this past weekend during the opening of the new Iron Man 3 movie. It turned out to be nothing but a publicity stunt.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 craziest things to happen in movie theaters.
Now, apparently that scene is so graphic that some viewers have actually fainted in the movie theater.
For this list, we'll be looking at some of the wildest events to take place inside a movie theater. To keep things relatively light, this list does not include instances of mass violence. What's the craziest thing that you have ever seen happen in a movie theater? Tell us about it in the comments. Number 10. What possessed them?
Well, then let's introduce ourselves. I'm Damien Karras.
And I'm the devil. Now kindly undo these straps.
The 1973 release of Warner Brothers horror classic The Exorcist was famous for its endless thrills and the strong reactions of its audiences. Promotional reels taken from the film's blockbuster screenings were full of testimonies from stunned and traumatized audience members. Many were made sick and even passed out at the barrage of horrors the movie contained.
What's so scary about that? That's not scary! That's not scary!
Ambulances and police backup were called at some screenings to corral the long lines of audiences and be on hand to help in the event of medical emergencies. Unsubstantiated stories of theater staff having to have paper bags on hand added to the myth.
Nurse, I'm hyperventilating. Would you get me a paper bag, please?
But the video footage of these traumatized patrons is hard to ignore and even harder to forget. Number 9. Head shaving.
I don't want to do it anymore.
In the late 1950s, America was still in the throes of the Red Scare. In 1957, Universal released The Girl in the Kremlin, an otherwise forgotten anti-communist propaganda film featuring an early scene where Soviet dictator Joseph Stalin orders a young woman's head shaved. Head shaving became a large part of the movie's promotional tour.
Oh my God, Meredith, what are you doing? Baking a cake. What does it look like I'm doing?
In San Francisco, though, one housewife named Patricia Smith took part in a drastic head shaving right there in the lobby of the Golden Gate Theater. The studio gave her $300 and some apparently unrealized hopes for enough publicity to start a film career. But she gave her hair for her country.
Shave her head. Shave her head!
Number 8. Die laughing about it.
Well, I'm so sorry.
They say comedy is tragedy plus time. But for one Danish doctor who was having too good of a time, comedy led to tragedy. During a screening of the classic comedy A Fish Called Wanda, Dr. Ollie Benson was having such a laugh at the movie's antics that he suffered a fatal heart attack. Tragic as it is, the makers of the movie, former Monty Python members John Cleese and Michael Palin, chose to look on the bright side of life and consider the incident a resounding rave for their madcap crime comedy.
I love the way you laugh.
Oh, Olivia, you're funny.
After all, he may have died, but he did die laughing. Good taste stopped them from actually using the incident for promotional materials.
Apologize.
All right, I apologize.
You're really sorry.
I'm really, really sorry. I apologize unreservedly.
Number 7. Security!
What, you think I was Harry Warden or something?
You don't really expect to get the whole 4D experience, but that's exactly what one cinema goer got after a screening of 2009's My Bloody Valentine 3D. The incident took place at a multiplex in Valley Stream, New York. Security guard Ricardo Singh got into an altercation with a teenager after the screening. Allegedly, the teen wanted to wait inside for his ride. The conflict eventually escalated into a shoving match. Singh eventually pulled out a folding knife and stabbed the teen in the stomach. Although the teen was ultimately okay, Singh was charged with second-degree assault.
But don't you worry, kiddo. There won't be a third.
Number 6. Delayed screenings.
I can't wait to see this movie. Oh, it's gonna be great.
We've all felt the anticipation of a new movie starring our favorite actor or a midnight showing of the new installment of our favorite franchise. In June 2007, Shivaji, The Boss, starring beloved Tamil actor Rajinikanth, was one of the most expensive Indian movies ever made, and anticipation was at an all-time high for its simultaneous premiere across Southeast Asia. Thousands of Malaysian fans, though, were disappointed when the cinemas screening the film had to delay or cancel showings due to technical difficulties caused by internet problems and failed deliveries.
Okay, you guys, listen up. People paid good money to see this movie.
But the crowds did not go quietly. Unruly patrons began destroying the cinemas, demanding refunds, threatening staff, and brawling in the lobby. Instances of arson and assaults against theater managers were even reported. Number 5. Grisly Discovery.
So what we're going to do is find out who they are, what happened to them, and what these Leviticus verses have to do with anything.
In 2012, family man George DeGrazio decided to go to a screening of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. He never returned. Although his car was found at a Cinemark in Fort Collins, Colorado, theater staff insisted that they had searched the place. 5 days later, they noticed a foul stench coming from a bathroom stall.
George DeGrazio disappeared for 5 days. They were searching for him. And that's when movie theater workers in Fort Collins, Colorado noticed an odor.
DeGrazio had died of a heart attack in the restroom, and his body had gone unnoticed. DeGrazio's family was understandably outraged by the oversight. 5 employees of the theater were placed on leave, and Cinemark had to release a statement to announce an evaluation of their opening and closing procedures.
A Colorado man is looking for answers after his father was found dead in the restroom of a movie theater 5 days after he died.
Number 4. It's coming right at us. To 19th century audiences, movies were still so new they could hardly believe their eyes. The Lumiere brothers of France quickly made a name producing and exhibiting short silent films that were a feast for their captive audiences' eyes. So it's not totally unbelievable that when audiences saw their relatively innovative short silent film, Arrival of a Train at La Ciotat, they were terrified that a train might actually be coming toward them.
He's coming right at us!
The story goes that an audience in France ran for the doors when the on-screen train approached the camera. Although scholars still argue about the truth of this legend, considering how new the technology was, it's not outside the realm of possibility.
Run for your lives, children! It's a tornado!
Number 3. They went out on a limb. 127 Hours, the James Franco-led historical drama about a man trapped under a boulder, deeply affected audiences at early screenings.
Whoever finds this can keep the recorder. Just please try and get in touch with my parents.
The shaky camera work mixed with the visceral scene of mountain climber Aaron Ralston amputating his own arm was just too much for some. At the first public screening at the Toronto International Film Festival, reports of 3 faintings and 1 seizure only built the public's interest.
Now, apparently that scene is so graphic that some viewers have actually fainted in the movie theater.
More instances of fainting, seizures, and panic attacks were so common, MovieLine.com kept a running tally of such incidents as the movie continued its rollout. One reporter said he hadn't seen anything like it since The Exorcist was released. But where some of those audience reactions had been publicity stunts, these just seem too real.
I've heard a few people have passed out, but I've also heard that the ones that have passed out have woken up and wanted to go back into the movie.
Number 2. Dead on Departure. In 2016, a truly bizarre series of events that took place at a cinema showing The Conjuring 2 could have inspired a movie of their own.
Look, we see this all the time. It's very easy to sit on the outside and pick apart their story, but it's something very different to have been there and experienced it for yourself.
During a screening of the film in the city of Tiruvannamalai, India, an unnamed 65-year-old man suffered from chest pains during the movie's terrifying climax. The man collapsed and was taken to Old Government Hospital, where he later died. Things got weirder from there. The body was prepared for transport to Tiruvannamalai Government Medical College Hospital by the dead man's friend, but the body never made it there. Local police conducted an investigation, but neither the dead man nor his friend were found.
Mom! Mom! Mom!
Hey, what's wrong?
There's someone in my tent!
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. A bad idea.
It happened this past weekend during the opening of the new Iron Man 3 movie. It turned out to be nothing but a publicity stunt.
Although we've seen some bad publicity stunts over the years, this one takes the cake for its combination of potential danger and lousy timing. In 2013, movie theaters were still reeling from the Aurora, Colorado shooting the year before. Every theater, apparently, but the Goodrich Capitol 8 Theater in Jefferson City, Missouri. When Iron Man 3 premiered, the theater decided it would be fun to hire actors to dress up in tactical gear and greet patrons with fake guns.
No regrets for allowing this publicity.
No, my job is to entertain people.
That's just unbelievable.
Unsurprisingly, some visitors didn't realize they were cosplaying and several called 911. The responding cops were armed as they thought they might be walking into an active shooter incident. Obviously, they weren't too pleased with the management. Luckily, no one was hurt.
Let's go.
I'm sorry, that's a terrible idea. Please don't touch her bags.
This is how normal people behave.
I can't protect you out there.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.